Have you ever looked at someone else's success and thought, what do they have that I don't? What if the reason why your hard work hasn't paid off yet isn't because you're lazy, and it isn't because you lack talent, but it's because you've been playing the wrong game? You've been putting in the hours, you've been grinding, you've been sacrificing, and you've been doing everything that people say is supposed to lead to success. You follow the mantra of sacrifice, discipline, grind, grit, and plain old hard work. And for a little while, you see success, you see progress, you start to get some momentum, you feel hopeful, but eventually you hit a ceiling and you watch the people who seem to have less work ethic than you do just glide right past you. And I know that moment messes with you because now it's not just frustration, but it's also confusion because you're giving it your all, but it's like your all isn't enough. And that raises a dangerous question that a lot of people refuse to ask out loud. What if just working hard isn't the problem? What if effort alone isn't the problem? What if the advice to just work harder is actually a trap? Because this is what they don't tell you. There's a specific multiplier that determines whether effort compounds or quietly stalls. And until you understand it, a huge amount of your discipline, effort, sacrifice, and faith will unfortunately get wasted. And so by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly what that multiplier is and the 4-step framework that you can apply to your own life without burning yourself out and without burying your potential. I want to start this video off by touching on the first thing, which is the hard work trap. See, there's this debate between hard work versus talent. Some people say that hard work beats talent. Some people say talent beats hard work. But I'd like to reframe that argument by saying that hard work alone does not beat talent, and talent alone does not beat hard work. Hard work plus talent beats everything else. But there's parts of this argument that need to be broken down first. And the first thing that I want to touch on is the hard work trap. See, we've all been told or sold the same story that if you just work harder than everyone else, you'll succeed. We've had this drilled into us from a very early age. But if it were completely honest, that means that every hardworking person is successful. And we all know that that's not the case. The world is full of people who are grinding away at their job, in their businesses, and just in their personal lives. And a lot of them feel completely stuck. They're burning the midnight oil. They're pouring every ounce of their energy into what they're building, only to watch their results flatline. And this is what I'm talking about when I talk about the hard work trap. It's the belief that hard work alone guarantees progress. And as you've probably seen in my videos, I like to tie the Bible into this because I always ask myself when I come into these conversations or I come across these arguments or debates or whatever, what does the Bible say about this? And the Bible actually has a phrase for this, which is called laboring in vain. It actually speaks of it in Psalms 127, where it says, unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. So you can have all the discipline in the world. You can have all the sincerity in the world, and you can have the endurance to run the race as long as you need to run it. But if you're building the wrong house, effort doesn't compound. It exhausts. And this is why burnout generally comes before people get clarity. And it's also where the dangerous belief forms that
if I haven't succeeded yet, I must not be trying hard enough.
But imagine trying to chop down a huge, massive tree with a dull axe. You can swing all day long. You can chop away at that tree all day long. You can try to swing that axe with everything that you have for literally days, and the tree will barely change, although you put in real effort. Now, why? Because the problem is not your strength. The problem is not your endurance. The problem is not your ability. The problem is your alignment. The problem is the axe, because brute force hard work is that dull axe. And unless you sharpen the axe or find a different tree, it's going to be a lot of motion, but very little progress. But talent alone isn't the answer either, because on the other side of this is the myth that success is just about talent. And we can look at many high achievers and just think that they were simply born with something that we just didn't get. But again, when I look at these and I say, okay, what does the Bible say about talent? And it instantly takes you to the parable of the talents, ironically, even though the parable of the talents wasn't about actual talent, but it was actually talking about money. But we just gonna go past that, because in another book it's talking about minas, but we just gonna stick right here. It never teaches that talent guarantees outcomes. The parable of the talents in Matthew 25 says, to one was given 5, to one was given 2, and to one was given 1, all according to their own ability. See, scripture openly acknowledges unequal starting points. And if you keep reading into Matthew chapter 25, when he talks about the parable of the talents, when the master went away, one buried it and the other 2 doubled theirs. The one that had 5 came back and had 10. The one that had 2 came back with 4. The one that had 1 came back with 1. The one that had 1 buried their talent. So I want you to understand that the judgment was not based on how much they were given. It was based on what they did with it. Talent alone is just as useless as directionless hard work. We all know someone who was incredibly gifted who never did anything with the gift. So if hard work leads to laboring in vain and talent alone leads to wasted potential, then what is the missing piece? The reason that most people feel stuck is because they're using the wrong equation. See, we were taught to see success as an addition problem. Talent plus hard work equals success. And while that's not necessarily false, it is incomplete, because success doesn't work that way. Success is a multiplication problem. Success equals talent times hard work times direction times time. The thing about multiplication, or a multiplication equation, is that if any one of these variables is 0, the entire equation equals 0. So you can be putting in all the hard work, you can have all the talent in the world, you can even know what direction you're going in, but if you don't put any time into it, then it's still going to be worth nothing. You can have all the talent in the world, you can know what direction you're going in, and you can know how long it's going to take, but if you don't put in any hard work, it's only going to get you so far. It's only going to get you as far as your talent will take you, and that's just the starting point that you started at. It's not going to get you any further than that. So talent alone will only get you to the starting point of where you're supposed to start at anyways. You need both talent, you need both hard work, you need direction, and you need time. So let's break down this equation so you can really understand what each part of this equation actually means. Talent is the what. See, talent is your God-given capacity. Talent is your learning speed. It's your pattern recognition. It's your natural pull towards certain problems or certain situations or certain things. Talent isn't random. It's God trusting you with an ability. It's God trusting you with something. It's entrustment. As 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 10 says, each one should use whatever gift he has received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace. So understand that your talent was not made for you. It was given to you to serve other people, to give God the glory, to give God the honor and the praise. It was not meant for you to hold and hoard for yourself, because understand that talent itself is the raw material, but unused talent is bad stewardship or poor stewardship, not humility. You're not being humble by not using your talent. You're just stewarding what was given to you poorly. The master, when he came back and saw that the one who buried his talent didn't do anything with it, he called him wicked and threw him into the fiery pit. He literally got the worst of the worst because he didn't do anything with his talent. And then as we continue to go into it, hard work is the how. Hard work is literally universal. No one is exempt from doing hard work. You cannot escape having to do hard work, but it's not brute force hard work. It's not brute force grinding. It's not the grinding that we've made popular nowadays, that we've modernized and made this trendy term. It's faithful, intentional effort. It's the kind that transforms capacity into actual skill. And this is what Galatians refers to when it talks about testing your own work, not being busy all the time, not doing a bunch of busy work, but actual progress. See, hard work is the engine. God supplies the capacity, and he expects faithfulness in return. The next part of that equation is direction, the one that most people like to ignore, because see, direction is where wisdom comes in. And this is where everything really changes, because direction is choosing where your talent and your effort is applied. See, Proverbs chapter 21 verse 5 says, the plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, and haste leads to poverty. See, diligence is the key word right here. Diligence requires direction. You can work hard in the wrong place and still be laboring in vain. You could be applying your talent to the wrong thing at the wrong time, at the wrong place, and still be doing all of that for nothing. But then again, all things work out for your good. So it's also still a learning lesson that you can get from that. Direction is aligning with what God is actually building, not about what your ego wants to move. So you have to submit yourself and surrender yourself to God's will and not your own. And then time is the win. Time is the part that compounds things. And this is one thing that we as humans, we as impatient humans, don't really like to deal with. We just want things to happen. We've grown up in an era, we've come up in a time of instant gratification, a microwave era, as some may call it. We want things fast and we want things now, but nothing meaningful grows instantly. You might have heard the saying that fast money leaves just as fast. You don't want to produce something that's cheap. The longer you sit with it, the longer you work, the longer you wait, the longer you refine your talent, the longer you put in effort in the right direction, the greater it'll compound, the greater your skill will be, the greater your circles will be, the greater your talent will be. Small, faithful effort applied in the right direction over a long enough period of time creates exponential results. Talent sparks it, hard work fuels it, direction steers it, and time turns it into something that's undeniable. You can't think that success is going to come overnight. Anybody who was an overnight success did the work in the dark first. Anybody who was an overnight success was putting in the work before you even knew about them. They didn't just blow up overnight. They were putting in the reps in the background. They were putting in the reps in the dark. They were putting in the reps in order to get to the point where they've now become this overnight sensation. What looks like an unfair success is usually just multiplication over time. So time is the biggest element. If you don't feel like you're good enough now, give it time. You'll hear older people say, you just need to keep on living. You just need to give it more time. If any of this is clicking with you, I want you to click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, because you finally started to realize that you've been working hard, but you haven't been multiplying your effort. You've been relying on working hard, or you've been relying on your talent, but you haven't been doing all the things. You've been using the incomplete equation in order to get the success that you so long for. And if you want to learn how to build a profitable business using your time and using your effort, then subscribe, comment, share, do all of the things, because now we're about to move from understanding to application. And this is the part that you don't want to miss. So keep watching. This next part is the actual blueprint, is the actual applying of the multiplier. So this is how it becomes real. This is how you can actually use it. And so step one is assess your talents. Assess what you're good at. Review, in another term, what you're good at. Most people say that I don't have talent. I'm not talented. I'm not creative. I'm not this, that, and the third. First of all, stop saying what you're not. But secondly, understand that that's almost always false, because everyone was gifted with a talent. Everybody was gifted with something that they're good at. Everybody was gifted with some things that they learn faster than others, that give them energy instead of drain them, and that come easy to them where other people seem to struggle so hard on. And so everybody has a talent. But here's the thing. Talent is discovered through action. You have to do things in order to find out what you're good at. But in order to discover what you're good at, in order to discover actions that have revealed what your talent actually is, and you just were not aware enough to understand that that's what your talent actually was, ask yourself these questions. What do I learn faster than other people? What gives me energy instead of draining me? And what problems do people consistently come to me with? Those three questions alone might reveal where your gifts have been hiding in plain sight. And when you realize what those talents are, when you realize what those gifts are, don't judge them, accept them, identify them, and receive them. Don't be mad that that's the thing that you're good at. Don't compare yourself to someone else because they have a different talent or a different gift than you do. Your gift was meant for you, was made for you. Now you just have to hone it. Now you just have to refine it. You can build a life that you are proud of with the gift that you've been given. You can build a life that God is proud of with the gift that you've been given. Step number 2 is then to redefine how you see hard work. I want you to stop grinding blindly. I want you to stop grinding just to say that you're grinding. I want you to adopt a deliberate practice. Ask yourself, what skill am I improving today? When you wake up in the morning and you've done all your morning routine, you brush your teeth, wash your face, take a shower, get dressed, all those things. What skill am I improving on today? And how will I measure progress? So let's just take a fitness journey, for example. If you're trying to get in shape, if you're trying to either lose weight, gain muscle, get buff, whatever. If you're trying to go on this fitness journey, one of the best ways that you can track your progress is by noting down what workouts you're doing every single session. So if you have one type of workout split or set of workouts on Monday, and then you do another set of workouts on Wednesday, and then you do the same workout on Monday, if there's a change from Monday to Friday, then you can see, okay, I'm progressing. That's how you track your progress, just using an athlete or a workout example. Step number 3 is find your direction. This is where wisdom comes in. Remember that, because at the end of each week, this is what I want you to ask. Where did my effort actually move the needle? What felt aligned versus draining? And what produced disproportionate results? So to put it in plainer terms, what actually made progress this week? What drained me versus felt like I was made to do this? What produced results that were far greater than any other thing that I've done? Those answers are your compass. And I want you to understand this. A pivot is not a failure. It's stewardship. It's understanding that this is not where I'm supposed to be at. This is not where I'm aligned at. So let me pivot to something. It's not stopping completely. It's not stopping cold turkey, but it's just changing the direction that you're going in to align you with where you're supposed to go next, with the direction that you're trying to go in. If you want to be a successful business person, but this business didn't work, then you want to shift or pivot to a different business that might be in the same field or might be in the same focus, that might use the same skill set, but you're applying it in a different way, but you're still in the business realm. You're just changing directions. It's not a failure. It's stewardship. And that's one of the things that I had to learn myself when I had to pivot from doing photography to the media business, understanding that media in itself has changed. And so I have to change and I have to pivot with the times. And then step number 4 is master time. Build systems that you can sustain, because elite outcomes come from consistency, not intensity. I'm going to say that again. Elite outcomes come from consistency, not intensity. You can go as hard as you want in the gym. You'll end up more sore before you end up toned and defined. Elite outcomes come from consistency, not intensity. Every aligned hour compounds and every misaligned hour dissipates. Trust the process. See, imagine waking up knowing that your effort isn't wasted. It's not just motion, but it's momentum, and you stop resenting others because you finally understand the system. You stop questioning your worth and start refining your strategy. Now your life isn't about grinding. It's about a life of stewardship. It's understanding that whatever I've been given, I'm not just grinding away, wasting my life, wasting my energy, wasting my time, and wasting my talent. That feeling is freeing. because for far too long, we were told hard work is all that matters. And I don't want to negate that, because hard work is precious, but it's wasted if it isn't multiplied. Unless the Lord builds the house, the workers labor in vain. And it's a sign, it's the signal, it's a telltale that tells us to stop just working harder. Start working with wisdom. Find your talent, apply faithful effort, choose a wise direction, and give it time. Here's what I'll leave you with. The ceiling that you feel isn't a limit. It's just the edge of your current strategy, and strategies can change. So if this video gave you clarity and it gave you a different look on hard work and talent, then like this video, subscribe if you want to, and share it with a friend that you know is struggling or has been working hard and still feels stuck. And understand this, your effort deserves better alignment. And now you know how to find it. So until next time, see y'all next episode. Peace.